All right. Hello. Welcome back, House of Metamorphosis Tribe. Welcome back to this channel where we're talking about creating the future of hairdressing through the inside out. I change the statement every week, but it's still the same thing. And here we are back to another conversation. So something came up. There's a lot of information that I'm sharing about consciousness and authenticity and the movement towards authenticity and how that's affecting, the industry and how we're going to be affected by this movement on a business area is what I want to speak about today. I'm going on about it, about authenticity and all of these areas. And there's this other element of how do we align the businesses, your business, to meeting this transformation that's occurring? How does authenticity remain to be profitable in your business? And how do you transform your modalities of, profit making, from high-end complex colors to no color work and more focus on the client's experience than so much about the hair, and how to do that. And I do have the solution, and it is the Evolve curriculum, but I'll get to that in a minute. What I want to speak about is, firstly, the difference between a current consultation and a conscious consultation. A current consultation is pretty much, hi, how are you doing? What can I do for you today? And then you'll listen to the client share, and then you'll go backwards and forwards and actually talking about the work that's going to be produced. And this is all done within 5 or 10 minutes. And if it's a regular client, you might not even have that conversation. Your client might just say, just do what you did last time. And you'll go on to try and remember what you did last time. And if you've got a busy book, you'll just maybe not fully remember what you did last time, but have the experience to be able to follow the haircut that's already there and trim it. It might be that's all that is. Conscious consultation. Every single session, whether they are old client, new client, return client, whatever, is met like a brand new session every single time. You look at the client in the moment, present, and presence applied. To experiencing your client as if for the first time, as if for the very first time. So that there is an opportunity, a window, a door that is opened for recreation, for transformation to occur. It's not subject to the person that they were in the past, but more associated with the person that they are right now. And the reason why I say it like this is because we're going through fast, dramatic change at the moment. It is expedient. So not only just in the world where we're noticing AI take over and we're noticing so many things evolve and transform so quickly before our eyes, this is also happening to the human race. And if we're really going to step up our game and become the professionals that we are capable of becoming, what we're going to do is we're going to step up the experience with our clients. We're going to expand the opportunity and make room and make way for our clients to evolve and transform every time they see us. And it might not be a full transformation when they see you. It might be just a transitionary period that they're moving through, but you are aware that they are moving through transition. And then how do you apply the psychology behind the transitional period that your clients are moving through to their reflection? This is all language and all processes and awarenesses that I am bringing that I have practiced for more than 25 years now. I have been doing this work for that long, and I'm also a qualified therapist, also a hairdresser for 40 years, plus a whole lot of other things. But more importantly, the bridge between hairdressing and becoming a therapist is what's sort of narrowed the gap, because one of the things that we're missing as hairdressers is that we're dealing with people. More importantly, we're dealing with the psychology of people. More importantly. And we deal with that every day, and we have never really factored in the time that it takes. Admittedly, there's never been a qualification like Evolve that's actually come in that supported you to start charging for the psychological aspect, the emotional labor, becoming aware of the emotional labor that's involved in our work, so that it can be factored into the fee of the service. So I'm going on about information that's potentially very new for you, but more importantly, to expand your peripheral vision beyond the service, the hairdressing, and look at the experience in which that you are bringing into your clients. Now, we were originally talking about profit margins. This is the opposing question from a hairdresser. How do I become a holistic salon and be mindful of the shift towards, clients wanting lesser colors, clients coming fewer times? And how do I keep my doors open? And how do I keep, my rent paid, my overheads paid? How do I keep this going? How do I keep the wheels turning in the business? And that is with incorporating the hairdressing service, you're also incorporating the experience. The experience is factored in, and time that it takes to factor in experience into your service needs to be added into the overall profit, charge, price, cost of your client's service. So as you expand the experience for your client, so your client is getting so much more in their time with you, you factor in the cost for that. And you learn how to do all of this in Evolve. Evolve is a whole new blueprint. It's a whole new template for hairdressers to work from, to create not just the language in your salon of, we're a holistic salon, or what does that mean? You sell organic products, you use organic colors, you use natural shampoos and conditioners, you serve good quality beverages. What does holistic mean? What is the idea? I feel like the word holistic has just been a word that's popped up into the field that everybody's using like popcorn, but there's no language, there's no substance, there's no culture associated with the word. And Evolve is the language. Evolve is the theory behind what it means to become a holistic, qualified hairdresser. It is the way forward. It is the substance to the idea. And what I've noticed is that in the industry, the word holistic has been captured and picked up, and it's become a trend word, but it's not backed up by anything. And I can see it because it's just like the word's thrown around a lot, but there's no culture associated with that word. And in order to be taken seriously, in order to earn trust, in order to develop a substantial, foundational, ethical business, you need to understand the theory and the knowledge behind the popcorn word of holistic that you're throwing around to look cool, to look like you're with it, and to sort of like make a client feel that you're a sustainable salon. Having recycled sort of like bins is amazing and love it, and fully 100% Paul Frasca and sustainable salons. Absolutely. But it's not the language and the ethos behind why you're being a sustainable salon. How you're treating and working with your clients in a sustainable way. How you understand the knowledge and the psychology behind the professionalism, the professional aspect of our business. That has never been brought online. The professional aspect of our business is we understand color processes and color applications and haircut techniques and all of that. But what about the psychology behind what we do? What about the understanding of the human experience and what a client really moves through when they're with you? What's really going on, so that you can expand the experience for the client and take them on a journey, give them an experience that far exceeds the haircut that they're going to work with. Because I'm telling you something right now, what I'm seeing, this is the trend I'm seeing, right? And why I'm bringing this to the table is that when colors and cuts and everything start becoming reduced, and hairdressing actually starts being seen as a luxury service, and people stop really investing in getting their hair done so much and start wearing their hair more naturally. And what I'm seeing in the fashion world is that top designers at the moment are actually doing that with their models. They're understyled, hair is more natural, there's very minimal makeup on, and the movement towards exposing the naturalness, that natural beauty is becoming a thing. Natural beauty is becoming fashionable. So that's going to lead clients going, well, why do I need to go to a hairdresser for? I'll go in for a trim every 6 months. I'm not coloring my hair anymore. I don't have, a high turnover process that needs doing every 6 weeks. Why am I coming to the hairdresser for? This is a really pertinent question. This is a really important question to be asking yourself right now. Why is your client going to come to you if they're not coming to you for their hair? And let's look at the major factor why clients come to see their hairdresser. Clients come to see their hairdressers to be seen, to be heard, to speak, to be expressed, and to recreate themselves. But more importantly, they're coming in to connect. They're seeking connection. That's the deep human desire, is they're seeking connection. And they've developed an intimate relationship with you. And they trust you. And they share probably more with you than they do their own therapist. Because you're not confrontational for them. A therapist is a confrontational place. They're sitting in front of a person face to face, and they need to speak about their deepest, darkest stuff. Whereas it's impersonal and intimate at the same time with a hairdresser, because a client can talk while the hairdresser is standing behind them and they're just receiving the information. And the client can divulge, and through divulging what's going on and what's troubling them, they're feeling, by the end of the empty out, they're feeling whole and complete. But you're not. You're feeling burdened and overwhelmed and potentially subjected to keeping someone's secrets. So you're also responsible for your clients' secrets. They have potentially project. This happens a lot in the salon, where a client will, oh, I'm going to tell you something, but you can't tell anybody, and that's a really big responsibility. And that is, that is a conversation of consent. And we talk about this in Evolve. Like, there's so many elements that go on that are unprofessional in the service in between a hairdresser and a client, that once the hairdresser becomes confident in understanding their professional aspect, what happened is the hairdresser starts evolving their experience rate. So you're no longer seen as just a hairdresser. You're actually going to see a professional that's been in their field for a really long time and not can only just give you an amazing haircut and reflect you right on point authentically. They also have the wisdom of how to hold a professional session in congruence, in integrity, and in resonance, to not taking on the burden of their clients by holding a boundary and understanding what that means to hold a boundary, and the time it takes to actually be in conversation in a container with a client. That is charged. That is a charged fee. Because they're no longer just coming to see you for the haircut, they're coming to see you for the experience. So what is your experience going to be worth? Now, if you don't have Evolve behind you, it's really hard to sort of pinpoint that or to place language upon it, because you haven't expanded your personal capacity and you don't know what kind of experience you can bring based on the nature of your being and your gifts and your capacity. And there are so many other elements that come into offering an experience to your clients. So unless you actually have that behind you, you can't really step into this experience that I'm talking about. And that's why I'm here. There is another pathway, guys. There's another pathway here. There's the pathway of Evolve. There's the pathway of the future. If you love what you do, and you don't see it as just a job, but you see it as a career, as a vocation, as a passion, then you will do everything in your power to make sure that you keep on evolving yourself to maintain the integrity of the work that you deliver to your clients. And this is so important. This is exactly the crux. This is the point, the meeting point of the old way and the new way. We are at a turning point right now. And that turning point is, are you going to stay with what you've been doing? Or are you going to take the leap and become evolved? That is the question that I'm going to leave with you today. And please, if this has inspired you at all, click like, share, and subscribe to this channel so that it may grow. And if you're further inspired, go to thehouseofmetamorphosis.au, book your 15-minute free call with me. Let's have a chat about where you're at and how I can best support you to not only evolve your business, but more importantly, to evolve yourself, to become the master of your own authenticity. I look forward to speaking to you on the other side of this. See you all soon.